Please note that this video has spoilers for the subject. I either have or will cover other parts of this franchise, and this video either is or will be linked below. I'm not going to restate here what I did or will say in the other video. These videos get long enough as it is. Put off by how long this video is, don't worry, I try to jam-pack my videos with as much content and as much detail as I possibly can. Anything I feel I can comment on and that I feel you might be interested in, I pretty much put in the video. I try not to repeat myself and talk fairly fast. I got this either as a present or I got it on discount, so I did not pay very much money for this and am thus not bitter on account of that. Married with Children, Season 1 Thoughts. Starting with the intro. Yep, doing another show. All 11 seasons and then a series review. I will admit that I laugh at many jokes in this that I acknowledge are offensive. And for those who don't know, I am as lib as they come. Let's see. And for those new to these videos of mine, I will be repeating my favorite jokes, and they're, not always the entire lines or the entire exchange. And in some of these videos, I'll do analysis. I didn't write down every single joke that I laughed at. Honestly, so far I laughed at almost every single one. And I only watched the episodes once for these videos, and some of them I haven't watched in a lot of years, unlike the Simpsons ones. Now, the German box set that I watched this whole show off has some episodes in a different order from what IMDb and Wiki state. I presume because they aired in a different order in Germany. I will be watching them and talking about them in the IMDb Wiki order. And I do watch them with the original English. If I wasn't certain that it had the original audio track, I wouldn't have, well, not bought, but had as my top wish on my wish list. Thanks, Dad. No, I really mean that. Sorry if it sounded sarcastic. And in this season, at least, there were no English subtitles for the English audio. And in these videos, unless I forget, I will say what the episodes are ranked out of the total according to IMDb votes. The total being 263 episodes for, yeah, I believe that is the exact. And I don't know how these will turn out, how these videos of mine will turn out in the long run as I find my voice for these. For now, I'll comment on jokes, quote my favorite lines, note when the show is very different from later episodes. Now, I believe this is from Wikipedia. I really have got to get better at sourcing. This season introduced the major characters, Al, Peg, Kelly, and Bud Bundy, along with their neighbors Steve and Marcy Rhodes. First season is the only one in which Al and Peg are regularly intimate to the point of Al initiating the sessions. It's also the only one where Peg can be seen doing housework under normal circumstances, and she even has her own car. I've seen 16 Years, what do you get? And in Thinergy, Bud mentions that Kelly had been held back a year in school, but she isn't implied to be as stupid as she is later in the show, in this season. Al's dislike of the French is first shown in this season, and it's also the first time that he calls Marcy a chicken. It also contains the first mention of Peg's family being hillbillies from the fictional Wayne County, Wisconsin. And briefly political, after the skinny repeal, Chuck Schumer said, "We're not celebrating today," and Francesca Fiorentini said on the TYT that she wishes he'd wear a party hat, while saying someone has to Photoshop that. Excuse me for a second. I got a new timer, and I have to... Some genius decided it shouldn't have a magnet that was powerful enough to hold it up on its own weight. But the box promised it does have a magnet, and it technically does. Truth in advertising. Pilot. Now, this ranks 110 on the IMDb of all 263. And just quoting a review, I believe this was IMDb. I've got to get better at sourcing. The best sitcom ever. When I saw the first episode in 1987, I knew it would be a winner. In that episode, the Bundys met the Rhodes. Bud, very young, called Kelly a bimbo. Peg trashed Al's coffee, so he would take her to a restaurant. PC Marcy dominated Steve, and Al responded to Steve's question, "Where are your kids?" with, "I don't know." I did not stop laughing. Now to my own notes. I love that, you know, that's also a thing. I don't think actually I may have put that in the review notes, but Kelly has the first line in the first episode and the last line in the last episode. So that's pretty cool. Although the last episode I don't think is a proper like send-off, like a real finale, but yeah. And yeah, Bud, you know, grabs her and says, "Die, commie bimbo." He's basically playing Rambo. Remember the effect it had on Grandma? I hate you. Good. Is this your cactus? Uh-huh. Any particular reason you put it where the alarm clock used to be? Stop the bleeding with your slip. I'm sorry, maybe I should look for some food in the dishwasher. You don't have a job or anything, do you? More of an adventure than a job. That hair is there for a reason. It keeps you off me at night. And she gives the food to the dog. There better be juice when I get home. I've been a 7 since I graduated from high school. Look, lady, you're a 9. I can accept it, why can't you? All this time I should have been easing them into the box. Could you quiet down John Henry over there? He was killed. He was tragically killed when a size 9 exploded in his face. I want a balloon. You've already got one. Technically, biologically, I was having sex with a broad. It's heaven on earth. No, Al, that is. Size 7s? How did you know? All women are 7s. No woman tells Al Bundy what to do. Hey, pal, get me a shoe. Yes, ma'am. And I love that Peg had the vacuum set up to clean the mess she had made, just to make it seem as though she hadn't made a mess, and to make it seem like she was cleaning. Just, you know, oh, you just caught me in the middle of cleaning. It must have been, even the TV's sweating. And she forgot to buy juice. Forgot. I got a surprise for you. I'm going to the game tonight. I'm your husband, I know best. There you see the parody of the 60s sitcom. Isn't staying home with me fun? There's no question about this. Who the hell would want to come over here? Al, I want to have some friends. And already a mention of him having his hand down his pants, and before the end of the episode he has his hand down his pants. It's just you and me. See how boring that is for me? The credit card is in both of our names. The checkbook is in both of our names. And the stores are still open. And he walks over there and sits down, resigned. Minimum wage paying slow death. Did you ever think about earning your money? Okay, Dad. Want to know who Kelly was with this afternoon? Oh, Dad, it's not like that. He just fell asleep with a cigar in his mouth. We raised 2 great kids. I was thinking of killing myself. Not tonight, honey. We have company coming over. But I couldn't always meet our neighbors, I see. If they were nice, they'd be dead and I'd be at the game. You have a beautiful... Yes, so do you. Come in. Steve and I decided to share the household chores. Well, to tell you the truth, since I got married, I don't really watch sports. Marcy doesn't like it, and we decided we were only going to do things we both like. What has she given up that you don't like? And it's that conservative idea that women fix men, going just short of the dog meaning of that. It's not healthy. Not saying that all women want it or that no men do, nor that it ever works the other way around. And Marcy's already nagging. You gonna neuter him too? You got a heck of a piece of clay here to play with. The hair he's losing is now growing out of his nose and his ears. And Steve goes, me too, and Al holds his shoulder down. She asks, what are you thinking? And I'm like, if I wanted you to know, I'd be talking. Do some damage to their internal organs, you got a shot. And if you don't, what have you lost? Going to bed a little later and later. You're letting him slip away, Marcy. I used to love sports. You can love it again. Turn on the TV. I can't do it for you. Turn it on, sit back, relax, and hand down his pants. Do you have PMS? No? Get it. And Steve calls from the coffee. And Marcy's leg bounces like pegs. Well, if I wanted you to know, I'd... Because that is how he feels. He's not saying that to impress Al. It's too smooth, too fast. Al just pointed out that that's what they both feel. He put words to what Steve was already feeling. She gonna teach you how to bury me like she buried her 3 husbands? Are you implying their suicides was because of her? She nagged them to death and kept sprinting towards the next. And she's already threatening to move out. Al, see you next week at the game. Peggy, I think we'll be spending a lot of time together. Setting up the interpersonal dynamics between all 4. First we see the dysfunctional nature of Bud and Kelly, then Al and Peg, together and apart. Then we meet the Rhodes, closing out the main cast. And Peg wanted friends. She couldn't make Marcy a friend without causing a rift between Marcy and Steve. She can't relate to a married woman in any other way. And both Steve and Marcy realize they've given up things they love for their spouse. And how close to the surface the problems are, but they don't talk about them. I do have to wonder, social climbers Rhodes don't think that winning is that important. I don't know, I guess you could argue that they already had such a head start on the bank jobs that that's why. Actually, yeah, maybe. And personally, I'm not a big sports guy, but it is healthy and important to follow some sports. They're newlyweds, yet they already have a few things that bother them about the other. And it's so easy to start them on having relationship problems. And, already here in the pilot, I can see why this show took off. Pilots, there are a lot of pilots that are kind of, okay, but they picked up later on. This is a really great pilot, and the show did get better, even better after this. But yeah, no, but yeah, already hilarious, short, satirical, fast-paced, if not yet wacky. It's far funnier of a start than The Simpsons, which started as a series, not just shorts, 2 years after this, and with a handful of characters already defined somewhat, albeit they would change. And, with the ease of the split between Steve and Marcy, and the split having lasted between Al and Peg for decades, on some level, the average man and the average woman may want each other, but they don't get along. They want to follow their gender norm, and that gender norm pulls them apart. And again, I realize that's fairly stereotypical. Thinergy. And I thought that was a flotation device. Educational. Would you like me to get one of those? Why? I love the reactions at the TV. If a maniac shot me, Al wouldn't even know. I'd know. I used to love smut. Since when do we have to apologize for that? I think the 70s. They've been married for 40 years. They still fool around 4 times a week. Al doesn't even brush his teeth 4 times a week. Hey Peg, do we have any more chips? Potato chips are draining. No, Al. My little Mount St. Helens. And he accidentally calls Marcy Patsy. I love Peg singing and then taking a break to gurgle water. And she drapes herself seductively across the bed, and he doesn't even notice. And she's smoking one lazy salad. That's so nasty. If you believe that, they should have held you back another grade. Just slide in front of me and plenty of it. Come on, Pig, where's my food? Okay, Pig, what'd I do? Here it comes now. And he tosses it out. And I love and fully agree with Al's definition of food. Come on, Pig, I want some form of dead animal on my plate. We would, but we don't have the energy. And Peg demonstrably chewing a carrot. Yikes, bud, would you like some cereal with your sugar? Get out. Subtle, Luke. I guess he didn't overreact. I can't sympathize. There's a shock. Do you remember that movie we watched the other night? Patsy, Portrait of a Stewardess in Training. Thank you, and then he walks, because that's, yeah, he didn't want to relate, he didn't want to, like, hang out. Nope, he just wanted to know what title to, yeah. And I love Steve explaining that the two Bundys can quit together too. Can you tell she's not wearing a bra? And Bud tricks Kelly into talking to them. More kale. Did I ask for more kale? More broccoli? Did I ask for more broccoli? Hey Al, what's that song you hate? And he cuts his nails and puts it into a shoe. Something that always makes you happy. Get your own. Even if you were beautiful, like the girl on TV, I'd still ignore you, because you're my wife. That's how I feel about you, Peg. And then he goes on and on about the baseball glove. Now, personally, I do like the pilot better than the second episode, but, you know, not a bad episode. And I already forgot about the rating, I think. Let's see, scrolling back up, and yeah, it's listed 223, so yeah. They can't all be equally good. But I didn't shoot the deputy. And this one is 137, and yeah, it's a really great episode. This is one of the episodes that I've remembered, and just really, the whole thing with the dog and the gun, it's so spot on. I love, you know, for Peg for the TV, you know, all of her answers are wrong except the ad. Feet in warm weather, a deadly combination. There's one now. And Peg to get quiet so they can have sex. Hey kids, come down and help me in the kitchen. There, that should buy us about 10 minutes. 7 more than we'll need. And the neighbor said, don't leave your door unlocked. It's an invitation to intruders. And they took it up. I invited them to watch this? And Al just gets the frame from his six-pack. I love the neighbor explaining that, you know, rigged up to electricity. How do you get into your house? Wouldn't you like to know? We'd all feel helpless in your bedroom. The thieves have a point. You really ought to wash your car. I know how you feel. If you did, Steve, you wouldn't be touching me. Well, excuse me, Miss Run Them Over and Grab the Fish Hooks. And Buck just lays back down. I love especially the fact he doesn't not react. It's not like he didn't hear them. He heard them, and that's his reaction. We'll go to one of those deadly doggy places. The next guy who sneaks into my bedroom will walk out on bloody stumps. And now it barks non-stop. There were no bullets in the gun. Your mother hid them for safety purposes, and you won't tell me where they are. It's not because the kids might get a hold of the gun. No, no, no. He would use the gun if he knew where. Yeah. The neighbor's cat didn't fill him up? That cat was taunting him. You won't wear the hat. And I love Marcy describing the dog hated but useful. Hey, Mom, that's just what you say about Dad. And Peg, after snoring to Al, the way you snore. Call the police. Can't. Kelly's on the phone. And Buck comes up to them. He couldn't just be lazily still asleep. No, no, he heard the noise. He came up to them. He was probably frightened by the noise. I just shot Stephen Marcy's dog. You couldn't tell the difference between a human and a dog? He was wearing a hat. And it's such a typical conservative, you know, Al thinks he's going to be this big hero, tough guy, will stop the evil criminal, but he shoots the wrong individual, as far more frequently happens when someone has a gun in their home that they can't wait to use. You just stand there looking cute, and when something moves, you shoot. I wouldn't argue with him. He's already killed once tonight. And makes Peg want Al, of course. You gonna say anything tonight, Peg? Peg, say something. Well, I think if there had been a shot, their dog would have started barking. Peg, on second thought, don't say anything. And Marcy is so uncomfortable about Al touching her, his arm around her. Is he alive? Yes. No. You can't miss him. I didn't. You shot my dog in the middle of a bowel movement. He crapped in your yard? Well, then shooting him is just a public service. Is he dead? Yes. Are you sure? Number one, he doesn't respond to any of my commands. Number two, his brains are in the begonia. We can get you another dog. For what? Target practice? And Peg, all attracted to Al. Dead-eye. I washed your killing clothes. If you'll just give me Bella's body... Oops. And of course Steve preaches. That box even feels heavy. What did you put in there? Some rocks. And your bowling ball. And he bowls. Whose room is it anyway? And this one is 196. I'm not sure I'd rate it that low. It's fairly funny. Dress in rags. Dad, I'm in the living room now. Bud, where else aren't we? In a good neighborhood? Who went to a place called 10 Little Toenails? Do you have a nutcracker? You're looking at her. And the whole thing was about Marcy gaining weight. And Peg will get it. We don't know what to do with the money. Oh, do so ever shut up. You know what I'd do if I had the extra money? Bomb the French. We're friends, right, Al? Who, you and me? No. Who got chopped sirloin? And Buck leaves. I sure hope Kelly hasn't spent money. Yes, if everyone was jumping off a bridge, so would I. We're late on our code payments. We're late on our codes, yeah. Ah, great story, Steve. I don't do that anymore. I've got a wife now. Call them back here. Are you comfortable? How could you be without a backbone? I love Al talking about the Curies. So sexist. And the gender war continues from the pilot. That's like comparing apples to pool tables. Ruin Steve's dream now, for the both of us. And smile with pride. Excuse me. I don't know if you can actually hear that, but at least you can't now. Laundry. I had no idea. I know you didn't. Except the two women who live in the brown house and say they're sisters, don't let them admire you too much. And a bag of apples too, I suppose. I'd like to think I can have apples if I want. Steve's eating an apple. A sitting room where we can escape the pressures of the living room. Oh, do go so right to hell. And then the Bundys won't let them have them. And they're like, I really don't feel... You really manipulate us. You are gonna hear what I have to say. And Al slams the door in his face. Vive la France! And I'm gonna vacuum someday too. Bud, are we in the basement? And turns off the light. And Al folds, and she smiles. I forget, but they do several other gags with Al falling down the basement stairs. I'm almost certain. Have you driven a Ford lately? And this is number 171, and yeah, it's quite good. Al watching Shane. Nope, phone commercial. And he called. I wish Bud lived far away so I could call him. If you're gonna be late, call. You're gonna want to go to college, and they crack up. I told Marcy and Steve we'd eat with them. You just talked yourself right out of the meal, Peg. Cook some food. Been out there for over an hour. The big windows in school are probably smashed by now. You spent an hour looking at a 20-year-old car? Of course not. We bought it. Well, honey, I was a guy before I met you. And that is good. You're still on the pill, aren't you? I could eat a horse. I won't be, will I? And they postponed the dinner for an ashtray. This is the worst birthday I ever had. They offered me 30. That was for both of us. Pretty mama. Except for the ashtray. I have special plans for that. I love Steve's fantasy and Al's fantasy, and they just wave to Steve. And Peg about sex and Bison. No, it isn't. We have to pick out his clothes for tomorrow. We got the horse. All right. What's that supposed to mean? And the engine. You couldn't have known it was stolen, and then he fought a cop. Al just had the idea in his head that the guy was only posing as a cop. Sorry I put that idea in your head, Al. And Al slams the door behind them. And there's at least one later episode where they just leave Al on the couch and go out. Like, rather than him staying behind. 16 years, and what do you get? And this is 168 on the ranking. No, you. And they use their hands. Nothing's cooking. Happy anniversary. What's for breakfast? Brimstone. Shoes. From your store. If God wanted you to have hot water, he wouldn't have given me laundry. Even Meg's father got her a present, and he shot at her. And the Rhodes get it on the couch. So with the Indians. To know me is to love me. I don't care. Next. I'll take the watch. Would you like to be a chef? No, I'd rather be a man. Bobo! I have to admit, I always feel like the Bobo bit should have gone at least a little bit further. Just, like, they only really have the two. You know, you have Kelly realizing that's Bobo, and then later, who is this guy? It's Bobo. I feel like there should have been a third punchline to that. But it's still a great gag. As long as we don't have to deal with them in person. Surprise! It was Kelly, Dad. I know she's your daughter, but I think it's time for her to go. I love how he's like a mafia guy with just gonna have to get him out of the family. I wasn't gonna be the only one here without a present. A picture frame. You little Nazi fascist psychopath. It was a nice thought though, bud. Not to bring a present. You didn't have to bring a present, Luke. Yes, I did, Al. Peg hates me. Here, Luke is actually decently funny. I don't think he is in very much of his screen time, at least not in the episodes leading up to this one. I do think that there's some fun stuff with him and the cherries, and yeah, in Al loses his cherry in general, he can be funny. Your daughter's really blossomed. Of course not. I care about you. I've used it to buy this dinner today. You paid with the card too? Of course. I'm not going to spend my allowance. And when you tried to use it, it threw up. Bleh! And everyone is so uncomfortable at the table. As a woman, I never thought I'd say this to another woman. But you're totally wrong. Steve, you're interrupting. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things that happen when you overcharge your card. And what, Peg? It. Very it. Well, I really am. We're supposed to get some rain today. See, at times they can actually be very sweet to each other. A present you don't have to put on a credit card. No, not that! After all, I wasn't wrong on this. You tore up my dashboard. Thanks. And war playing on the radio. Our song. Married without children. And this is number 83. And yeah, it's real good. Kelly, turn that down. Why? Were you shot today? That's why we came over. I don't think Al and Peggy read much. No, wait. I saw that on TV. The show's message in one sentence. I thought that there was something nice in our family life. No, wait, I saw it on TV. I'm taking the kids for the weekend. The ones upstairs? just in case. They have secret kids, right? Who aren't monsters? That's what you mean. I know, I've been circling the block waiting for them to leave. I finally ran out of gas. I love the I'm watching the fight. You are not watching the fight. You are the biggest... Do you have cable? You are the biggest idiot I've met in my life. Try to picture her in heat. Where, Al? I can solve all your problems. Well, not all your problems, but I can solve this problem. And he immediately yells it out. And Marcy's like, I don't remember that. I can't believe you forgot that night. Good cover. Thanks for selling me out too. No problem. Right back at you. Learn a lot. Yup. You're gonna. I love the Bundys yelling outside Rhodes' house. And this is the first time we see the Rhodes place. Well, the dog is one of their kids. No parties. It's a promise we made the police. I hope our kids like us. If I leave, will they leave? It's time to play fox hunt. That's my fur. Your engagement present. Bud! Get out here. Now, Steve, you're just upset because you paid for it. Sorry whoever moved the devil's spawn. Okay, I've got everything valuable, and the rest I'm sure will dry. Okay, you can call a few people. I already did. Dweeb just got out. Human life means nothing to me. Freeze, and Dweeb assumes the position. Well, Dweeb, sure, it's a nice ring, but I think that's why they lock cemeteries at night. I have to admit, I am I am such a mark for stuff like, just, you know, is that what they call a cold open, when the scene opens with a character saying a line, and by the end of the line you realize, oh, that's what, oh, wow. And I love the Rhodes happy dance. It'll be dark in an hour, and it's a full moon tonight. Then one day, they won't come back at all. And if we were good babysitters, we'd have to say no. You're gonna get them all together and blow them up, right? They say there's no trouble, and a great pan across party carnage. And much like Bud likes to take pictures of chaos, I guess to show to others for blackmail, something. The poker game. I guess they spent their entire clever title budget on the other episodes. And this one's number 85, and yeah. Poker? I hardly know her. What have you got against 23? Those are good reasons. I need something closer to 20. Yeah, so do I. Look at this. Yeah, you'd wear it, but you wouldn't mean it. I suppose these pots and pans are mine. It's been so long since I wore them dancing. That's what I love about the show. It just, you know, both of them get a good snipe at each other. Of course, he thinks that spending money on, you know, stuff around the house is a huge deal, and she's like, that's not for me. That's, yeah. Saddle in the shop. Room for one more. Be nice to meet somebody besides you. What with you being in the hospital, having Bud and all, aw, it's touching how much you care. I'm reading, Al. You're so much wiser than all the tellers have met, all except the automated ones. Cashed his paycheck. I really love the black guy out of all the poker players. Looking him up, I saw that he's apparently been on Two Broke Girls. We all make mistakes. Gotta have a brain. Vanna White, because that's the one brainy woman they know. I mean, you're being very subtle about it, Steve. Talk about a tell. After Marcy explained about the dumb waitress, I kept expecting Kelly to return home complaining that she got fired as a waitress. Isn't there a later episode like that where someone gets Kelly fired because she's incompetent at a job? No phone there. Uh-huh. The man no deodorant can tame. What am I going to tell Marcy? You're a man. Lie like a dog. Why does he need a brain? He's a man. And the sexism on both sides. Both genders. All genders. To be perfectly honest. Marcy, I have to tell you something. A bubbling cauldron? She's out cold and I don't remember how I got here. Then it worked. Yeah, but I'm afraid it'll never work again. No, it was $5, Steve. Make it grow, friend. I love because it's such, yeah, it's the, you know, why don't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? And he seriously considers stealing from the bank. As sharp as a bag of wet hair. Do a lot of good for him, and the bum walks past with a prostitute. As the hostess, it's my job to ask, what are you doing here? When Al comes home, something good will happen. That'll be a first. Marcy's gonna kill me. If she hasn't already. Enjoy Daddy's dinner. What's for supper? Filthy pig. We had that last night. If that's how it works, it may as well stay home with you. I spent it. And kiss on the cheek, not the mouth. Just like the dog had. It's priceless, Al. No, it was $15, so no MasterCard needed. And he didn't need all 300, as we already knew. Marcy, you look beautiful. Peggy Sue Got Work. And this is number 164. Also a good one. And Marcy says, you know, of course, you know, our garbage doesn't smell. We're vegetarians. Did Marcy just say our crap don't stink? Work equally as hard to get him to spend it. Just the part where I have to explain it to you. You might lose your job someday and have to be a woman. Did O'Neill say Opry? And they just went with that take, I guess. Then she's smarter than you. You see what this chick says? Al Bumby. Well, that's not important. The important part is I can cash it. Maybe. And that's the first joke about people thinking he's so irrelevant that they misspell, that they don't even spell his name right. Seriously, that's 2 letters off with 5 letters to work with. That's impressive. So what's the argument? You're getting a job, and both Al and Peg laugh. That's a disadvantage. Outside or inside the home? And Peg nods. Her mom makes homemade stuff. Be careful, you never know what they put in that. Great reversal of that, yeah. Oh, and I wrote you that letter to get you out of jury duty. Do you want something to eat? No, Mom, I don't have time to cook something right now. The important part is, what does Peggy want? I want a VCR. Welcome to the workforce, Peg. And Al laughs. Try not to laugh. Fabulous. And he says it 3 times because he can't think of it. That's just our friend the sun. If you feel a sharp pain where you sit, that's just your friend my foot. And she accidentally strangles Bud. Do you have any clocks? No. And he walks back out. Transgenders, which bathroom should they use? Huh, it's been around since then, 30 years. You'd think we were further on the subject. I love the clock shop owner to Peg. Remember, daylight savings time, so you have to reset all the clocks. I missed you so much, and the guy runs down and out. Can I have $5? And Bud gets them for warning her. I love the whole marshmallows thing. Al Bundy is about as bad at cooking a meal for his kids and himself as Homer Simpson is. Fix me some dinner, okay? You toasted him, Peg. Now go see who it is, and he just walks away afterwards. And that's the end of any fun I'll have in our marriage. Real food, the kind Mom used to defrost. Not cook, but defrost. I love Al's rant. I hate the supermarket. Your dog just jumped the fence in our yard, and he's eating the pizza. That's how mature Peg is, how she deals with problems. Not talking with the person, no, crank call. No, she wanted good shoes. And the thing, you know, to go out and get a job, you have to spend a lot of money on appearance, and you know, it's not just, yeah, you don't just earn money. No, I'll be in jail for killing your wife. Pretend you're your wife. And Peg's eyes go side to side like the cat clunks. I hear ticking. Interesting thing about this watch. You put it in water, you ruin it. We're starving and we're dirty. And both parents paid the kids. Does Mom know about your phony ID? No, and she pays Bud. This episode captures the misery of working, especially retail, really well. Al loses his cherry. And this is number 98. And Bud feeds it to the dog. And don't wake your father, she shouts. Wow. I'm old enough to know how to use a vending machine. Not to cook, but yeah. She should have to clean her plate like I did, and she does just that. I'd ground both of you, but that would mean you'd be here all day. And then she settles on grounding them a day that, you know, that Al's home all day. I'm not allowed in anybody's house. Anybody's house. And the dog is full. Yeah, you dirty, worthless, shiftless dog. The cholesterol is very bad for him, but not for Al. Not really. A lot of people demanding chromosome tests. Just you and Dad. Some people will do anything not to get deported. Jose is a very nice young man, and his English is coming along just fine. The extra mile. Your son is very nice. I said I'm not coming home, so we're gonna get some flowers cheap. Al, what do you think I should have for lunch? I'm pouring my heart out to you here. Sorry, I thought you were done. Can I stay with you tonight? For free? The day Luke Ventura can't help a friend, that's a day he's got something better to do. See, in this episode, Luke is actually fairly funny. According to a book, Man and Other Primates, wow, Marcy and her books, his shoes will be under her bed. Well, that should end it right there. And the Cherry Sisters, yeah, I'm sorry, they're really funny. Never go anywhere empty-handed, or without a dime for a phone call. We didn't bring you anything. Would you like our dime? And all Al can say is his name. You want to go in the bedroom? Sure, as long as I'm here. And vacant to occupied. No, Luke, she's still fairly vacant. And he breathes. Yeah, Al and I will become. And don't cry, I have to bring Al. He won the lottery, so he no longer needs to marry her. If he's not in the bathroom and he's not watching TV, where could he be? As a boyfriend stealer myself, so my sister and I got jobs as stewardesses because we thought that's how you become a pilot. Luke, he's not out here, sis. She has problems with object permanence, basically. That's the issue here, and basic comprehension of, yeah. You're beautiful, blonde, and facing me. I'm looking for a serious commitment. Someone who'll stay the night. You want a massage? Sure. I better go home. Can I come with you? What are the odds Peg's in a coma? That's okay. We can just go to a hotel. Oh, it just wouldn't be right. Do you have any pictures of yourself? No, that wouldn't be right either. Wear this, and he carries her upstairs. And it's the first of many non-main cast on-screen female characters who's stupid and easy that lasts for more than a few seconds of screen time anyway. You could argue that, you know, bra lady from, yeah. Nightmare on Al's Street. And I would have to say this, yeah, this is as nightmare-inducing as Nightmare on Elm Street is. And this is number 43, which, yeah. Two men came over. Al, I'm going over to Marcy's. Al, Marcy's here. Nice try, pig, but I'm still hungry. Why improve a house you're only going to live in? Tellers against the penny. I'm sure the feeling is mutual. I fell for you, sweetie. How could you marry him? A dare. You are a woman, go out and roar. I really don't see him very much. I love Marcy's face as Bud explains that she was tricked. It's not the fact that she made a mistake. It's not the fact that someone managed to trick her. It's the fact that Al was right. Al's mother on the phone. Hello? Hello? Peggy, is that... The only thing uglier than a man who thinks he's right is Al. Marcy, don't let him lift his leg on you. Well, that advice sort of applies to anyone, doesn't it? And Steve becomes Al. Why dream when I have all this? Did he have feet? In my dreams, Al never has any feet. Then what happened? Nothing. Yep, sounds like my Al. I should be apologizing to you. She had a dream she slept with you last night. The pro-penny people pelted us with nickels. Oh, there's an image. And Steve becomes Al. And now Marcy doesn't trust that it's Steve, and she connects the two sexually, so yeah. And the holding pizza bot. Yes, I have, and that is not the way to do it. You, from what Kelly says, you expect Peggy to be like, you shouldn't be doing it. You know, she's just, yeah, I've been there. That's not how you do it. That's 2 nights in a row. And how Al gets seats is also great. So did I at first, but it passes. You're the one dreaming around with my husband. And I love Al showing off in front of Marcy. It's so nasty. I can't believe everybody doesn't. He's on top of the world. Ruining her for all of the men. What am I supposed to do? Stop oozing sex from every pore? That isn't sex, Al. And he just keeps singing. I'm reading. Let me get a hammer and I'll nail that sucker to the ceiling. Don't toy with me, Marcy. I'm horny and I've been to Buffalo. Ow! How could I swim? You said I have no feet. Bartholomew? Al, I'm horny. What are you going to do about it? I got kids. Somewhere. I don't know. There are no other men in my dreams. I was being punished, like sex with you must be. You didn't desire me? Says every man ever. Every last one of us. Just purging myself. Oh, honey, not again. What's everybody talking about? I got feet, and they're not little either. No problems in that area. And Al dreams about Marcy. Her revealing it wasn't sexual swapped the power dynamic. Al didn't want sex with Marcy. He just wanted her to want it. Where's the boss? How we both cried. And then you discovered boys, and I discovered daytime television. What do I care? You already got it. Gee, everybody goes to Hawaii but us. We can't count on that, bud. Those damn poachers? I'm sorry, honey. I was talking about people who work. Oh, sorry, that was Al, not Peg saying that. How about some scuba gear? They'll remember Al Bundy. Or if you wanted that, you should just send them your socks. You have insurance, don't you, Al? Kiss it goodbye. Hello. Ever think of sending me flowers, Al? Why would I do that? You're still alive. Spend our vacation money on flowers. I was planning on spending those on clothes. It's the door. Well, get it. I'm on the phone. That's the... what was it? The timer on the microwave oven. You microwave? No, it's more of a reminder to order dinner. They think he's a god. So do I. I'd kill before I let you go naked, and no jury would convict me either. I hope they sent some to the poor and stupid home, because that's where we'll be living in a few years. I told you, I'm not moving in with your mother. Oh, Al, don't be so hard on yourself. I'm sure he'd spit on you if he saw you. He's not wrong. He's a proud man, Mom. Of what, dear? I love the ad Bud put out on Kelly. And the stupid security guard. And Al's speech, I'll be there. Aesthetics. And the bit about why Al can't get a new job sums up perfectly the average man in the 80s. Just, yeah. Why he has such trouble getting a good job. Or a job at all. I love the who's that. And Steve about Al's prospects. Dinner for the family. Although I think Al's the first shoe salesman. No, my father's in prison, because even that is better. Do they have to be here? Yes, Al, until the state takes them. Not until they, you know, not even, oh, when, you know, not until they turn 18, then they're out of here. But nope, the state will take them before that happens. It's a good idea, but after 16 years of marriage, I have no blood left to give. Hey, it's too hot to be running in this heat. God, this is ugly. That's your reflection, Kelly. And you must be why they're starving in China. Hit the showers, Peg. Blondes make the world worth living. I wouldn't know. There's a very special man in there, and he's talking to your father. They really thought you were Gary, Nick. So did the IMDb credits. I didn't get around to checking what the episode said. If it listed him as Gary or Nick. And that's a young Giovanni Ribisi as Bud's friend with the money. That's, yeah. Johnny Be Gone. And this is number 98. Why doesn't somebody move this? I honestly, this is probably my personal favorite of this entire season. And just, I love how it builds and how every element, like basically, every member of both families has something that they badly want to happen. And it consistently clashes with what the other ones want. And they won't let it go. They keep going for it. And the way Marcy it gets ruined over and over. Just, yeah, this is what sitcoms are supposed to be like. A good sitcom. It reminds me somewhat of the There's that one episode of 8 Simple Rules. There are a number of great episodes of 8 Simple Rules, but one of the few that are good, that are after John Ritter passed, are there's this one, I forget what it's called, but the two daughters did something that they don't want. Wow, I don't even remember Katie Seagal's character, the mother character, to find out. And Rory got beat up by a girl, and there's that guy hitting on Katie Seagal, and you have I do like how Ed O'Neill actually had a guest episode and a guest spot in an episode as someone Katie Seagal's character used to be with. And just, yeah, everybody is lying about something, and it just builds and builds, and someone calls the house and they're saying something, and they keep saying, oh, it's a telemarketer, and at one point a telemarketer actually calls and hangs up. Telemarketer, no, really. That's how you make a great sitcom episode. Have you seen Al too many times? Who cares if he's okay? They're so much more than a burger place. They've got fries. And Al honks at funeral processions. That's where I met the man I wanted to spend my life with. And I met Al there too. He said it gave the fridge a foodie smell. I'm off to cement our future. Oh no. And that's just so, it couldn't just be one of those things. No. It's both. She ruins the dinner and the dress that she's gonna be. Just, yeah. Look at my floor. Priorities, Peg. Someone should indeed have moved it. And of course Peg didn't when she easily couldn't. You just, pick it up, go over, put it next to the door, and then answer the door. But nope, because even that tiny amount of housework she won't do. Maybe I can go over here like this. I sideswiped the car outside Stephen Marcy's house. Didn't you leave a note? Yep. Next time, buy American. So I let Bud sleep on the sidewalk. Well, there goes my appetite. They stole that towel from the hotel from the earlier episode. That's sweet, in a way. And it's now his favorite towel. Although that's possibly also in part because it's probably nicer than every single other towel that they own. And you could argue, well, why don't they just steal more towels from hotels? They almost never have the money to go to a hotel. Does the dryer buzz when it's done? How would I know? What? It's just because it's my dryer? I love the whole thing with Alien. So let's cut the crap. What's wrong? Nothing. And that is such classic teen girl behavior, sulking, and just, yeah. And again, I have a ton of sympathy for teenagers, but just, at times we have to laugh at stuff like this, because otherwise it'd just be impossible to stand. Everybody has to deal with teenagers, being a teenager, having teenage kids, having teenage cousins, going to school with teenagers, friends who either are teenagers or have close relatives that are teenagers. And yes, I was an awful teenager too. I'm not. Yeah. And I've got the forehead of a dolphin. That's a very smart fish. If she starts crying, give her some money. That always works on you. No, but I see a chicken leg. And neither is Peg. Do you want to tell me why you mixed the slides of our river rafting with the slides of your sister giving birth to the twins? Two of nature's bumpy rides. But I was number 50. And Kelly just holds on to him while he walks. Fondling a dead fish. Chug us, bud, chug us, bud. Have you read any good books recently? As a matter of fact, I have. Talk about just completely tone deaf. If I was gonna have fun, I wouldn't let one of your problems stop me. You weren't invited, Kelly. That's where I lost it for this episode. Just wow, that's so, you know, there and when she fell over the fish, yeah. I love Bud returning the owl stare, or glare, more like. I'm happy to hear that, Peg, because no intention of actually giving it to you. Didn't want to get married, got married. Didn't want to have kids, I've got two. How the hell did this happen? These ain't instructions, it's the history of World War II. And he reads some French. Great, more people we should have killed. Why don't they just say put the red wire in the hole? Oh, here it is. Put the red wire in the hole. And I love how when he finally finds the English, the American, sorry, directions, it's like poorly translated back from German or something, like the word place. I don't know enough about, but I know the German language has some different, like, grammar rules. You know, you place the words in different order, but when he reads it, I didn't write it down, but what he reads, it's like completely in the wrong order from the perspective of American grammar. And just, yeah, this was some foreign product that, you know, because it's cheaper, and so they didn't even bother to have, you know, someone who speaks American properly translated to make sure it was right. While your daughter takes the back seat. You should be used to that, Kel. I'm not a monkey. We know, son, and she picks lice out of his hair. What the hell's holding that towel up? You're a bunny, start acting like one. You call these lives? Well, in its defense, I'll fix that, too. I wrote a haiku. Sorry, that was the owl voice for Steve line. That's how I got pegged. And I love, you know, Steve, you know, they're talking about the Mercedes. I'll have them show it to me. That'll go well. And, you know, IMDb points out this is a bottle episode. If this was in a later season, they would definitely have shown. Yeah, actually, they do have a later season episode, don't they? With very much this plot, and you do meet the businessmen from the, yeah. I'm glad that they brought it back for that, because I love this episode, but I also really love when we actually get to see the people that, yeah. And I feel like the episode should have had more of a conclusion. I mean, obviously, they're not going to further their career much, but to have just, you know, just, yeah, some kind of, like, you know, finishing, just a conclusion to that, yeah, that story. Nice dress. Sorry. Oh yeah, that was before the car. Sorry about that. Al the Pig Bundy. And they're proud of that. And the dress shrunk. I wish I was blind. And sing Nancy Sinatra songs. Start with a cover of Bang Bang My Baby Shot Me Down. Nice dress, Mrs. Rhodes. I'm not a Bundy, thank God. How much time do we have? And they run up, and the horns honk. In my parents' living room? And it's watch TV, of course. This turned out shorter than I thought it would. Maybe I can keep this pace for the other ones. The other ones having about twice as many episodes as this, but, you know, a short first season is, yeah. The Simpsons had that. The 4400 had that, although I think that was originally meant as a mini-series. Why did that change again? Please comment, thumbs up, and subscribe for more content.